You walk into a grocery store right now and you actually feel a tiny bit of relief, right? Egg prices are down, things are finally starting to stabilize. But then you go home, and there is this absolute terror waiting for you the second you check your rent portal or look at your mortgage payment. We are living in a two-speed economy right now, and honestly, it feels like a total trap.
Just look at the sheer contrast here. In the food sector, we've seen this massive 29.4% drop in egg prices because agricultural supply chains are finally healing. But then look at housing. If you track proxy markets for major global economic hubs, take Macquarie Park over in Sydney, for example, house rental prices there have surged 17.4% in just a single year. It literally doesn't matter if your grocery bill drops by $20 if your rent jumps by $200 at the exact same time.
The global economy is basically playing a really cruel game of whack-a-mole with us. We essentially cured the cost-push inflation that was driving up the price of milk and cereal. But all those savings, they're being entirely wiped out by what economists call sticky shelter costs. The price of keeping a roof over your head is stubbornly refusing to come down, and the actual reason why is probably not what you think.
So what's actually driving this? It's a mega project resource war happening right now between big tech and, well, your neighborhood.
Whenever we talk about why housing is so insanely expensive, everyone instantly blames interest rates, but that completely misses this massive, hidden industrial war going on behind the scenes. Big tech is currently hoarding the physical materials needed to build homes. Look at the totally boring everyday materials that make up a house. Aluminum is up over 39%, steel is up nearly 21%, concrete is up 25%. We're talking about a standard concrete garage slab jumping from $1,000 last year to $1,400 today, just from international tariffs and broken supply chains.
This creates what's known as the mega-project crowding effect. These massive industrial projects, specifically semiconductor plants and AI data centers, are literally outbidding your local home builders for basic physical materials like steel and copper. The tech giants have enormous profit margins, so they can absorb those crazy price spikes. Local builders just can't. So all the fabrication capacity gets swallowed up by big tech, and the wait time for standard construction components gets pushed out to an agonizing 18 to 30 weeks. We aren't just short on houses, we're actively losing a resource war.
Just pause for a second and think about the irony of that. Artificial intelligence is supposed to make our lives easier, more productive, and cheaper. But in the physical world, it's doing the exact opposite. It's driving up your electricity bills to power all these massive data centers, and it is hoarding the structural steel that's meant for residential neighborhoods. We are quite literally paying for the technological future with our own living rooms.
And because the physical reality of housing is breaking down, the economic data is starting to glitch, which brings us to an incoming fake panic.
There is a statistical ghost lurking in the system right now, and it's about to absolutely terrify global markets. Back in October 2025, that government shutdown disrupted the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They couldn't collect their standard 6-month survey data for rental units. So, what did they do? They just copy-pasted the old data forward from April 2025. They essentially created a 6-month blind spot in the housing inflation data. But in April 2026, those units rotate back into the survey.
This means the Consumer Price Index is about to capture an entire year's worth of rent growth all at once in a single print. Forecasts are projecting a massive 0.44% spike in owner's equivalent rent. When this headline drops, the markets are going to absolutely freak out. It's going to look like shelter inflation is skyrocketing out of control all over again. But it's a fake panic. It's just a statistical artifact from a shutdown a year ago, not a sudden surge in the real world.
The problem is, central banks can't easily ignore official numbers. They are completely trapped by this service-led inflation. In the US, the Federal Reserve is being forced to hold rates steady between 3.50 and 3.75%, all because this sticky inflation rate is stubbornly sitting at 2.81%. They are frozen in wait-and-see mode. And this is the exact moment Kevin Warsh is stepping in to replace Jerome Powell as Fed chair. He is inheriting an economy where real wages are finally growing, but housing costs are brutally erasing all of those gains. He is backed into a very, very tight corner.
So if the Fed can't fix it with rates, the government is stepping in. Enter the corporate fire sale.
Monetary policy, just tweaking interest rates up and down, cannot build houses. It can't fix a broken physical market. So lawmakers are dropping an unprecedented legislative nuke to force the issue. The U.S. Senate just passed the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, and the details are staggering. It places a strict 350 home ownership cap on corporate entities. If Wall Street firms own more than that, they are legally barred from buying any more single-family homes. And worse for them, it includes a 7-year forced divestiture provision.
These massive corporate empires literally have 7 years to liquidate their housing portfolios. It is a deliberate, government-engineered fire sale designed to artificially flood local suburbs with inventory.
And America isn't acting alone here. Over in the UK, the Renters' Rights Act just abolished no-fault Section 21 evictions, which fundamentally tilts the power dynamic away from landlords. We are watching a synchronized global revolt right now. Governments are looking at the hoarding of housing, whether it's by corporate mega-investors in the US or standard landlords in the UK, and deciding that the social cost has just gotten too high to let the free market run its course.
But obviously, building our way out of this crisis comes with a massive trade-off.
Every extreme intervention has consequences. Will forcing corporations to sell actually save the middle-class dream, or is it going to destroy the rental market by scaring off the capital we desperately need to fund new developments? The reality of shelter is completely uncompromising. We can grow our way out of a food crisis. A few good harvests and egg prices plummet, but you cannot just wait for housing to get cheaper. We have a decade-long deficit of building activity, combined with a lock-in effect where current homeowners absolutely refuse to sell. To fix this inflation crisis, you have to physically build your way out of it. The materials have to be bought. The slabs have to be poured.
The government is now stepping in to forcibly redistribute who gets to own American homes because the market is fundamentally broken. But here is the question we all have to answer. Is it fair to force private companies to liquidate their property to fix a crisis they didn't entirely create? Or is this massive government overreach a dangerous mistake that will ultimately backfire on the exact renters it is trying to protect?
An investment in knowledge pays the best interest, so why not invest in this channel? Click like and subscribe for more.